At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, happy Friday to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger, looking a little scruffy this morning. I didn't shave. You know, I got my shaver right here, and I thought, I'm not going to shave today. I'm going to be just, I don't shave on the weekend, so a lot of times on Friday, I'm like, I don't feel like shaving. So yeah, all right. I probably could have shaved. Now that I'm looking at myself on camera, I'm like, I'm looking a little scruffy out there. How you doing out there this morning? It is Friday, and what a week it has been here in Northern California. You know, temperatures have been above normal. Temperatures have been well into the 60s. We've been dry for the valley. We've been dry for everybody. The winds were a little gusty to start off the week, but then progressively the winds died down. Just a gorgeous week. And we've got more of the same going into the weekend and really probably even going through next week. But I am beginning to see better signs of consistency in the long-range forecast models that we could see some wet weather making its way here probably near the end of next week. I've been talking about it the last few days, maybe to kind of wrap up the month of January, maybe seeing some wet weather. So it looks like we may actually get to see that, getting more confidence in that. Now, the timing and the amount of rain and snow, those are still details that need to be ironed out. We can't give you that with any confidence at this point. But what we can tell you is that, yes, wet weather is on the way, and we will certainly take it. Let's get to Krueger's Quickcast here. For those of you that are in a hurry, you just want a quick look at the forecast, let's do it right now. Here it is, Friday, January 17th, and as we look at the current conditions out there right now, it is cold. You know, we're right around or just above freezing in most cases for the valley this morning. We're at 33 degrees for Redding, 32 degrees in Chico, 34 in Red Bluff, 20s, 30s for the higher elevations, although in El Turris, you're down to 17 degrees this morning, 25 in Mount Shasta City, and in those low 40s for the coast. All right, let's get you out the door this morning, and anyone, really, even in the valley, you're going to be scraping that frost off the windshield, without a doubt, if you don't have that garage. Otherwise, you can see, of course, some patchy fog out there for some of those inland and mountain valleys, some fog along the coast, and it's cold pretty much anywhere you go this morning. We've got the high pressure in place that's just driving and pushing all the clouds and the rain, keeping it well out of our area, and we're left with mainly sunny skies here for today, and of course, that'll be the case going into the weekend too. All right, so sunny skies here, temperature around 60 for Redding, 58 for Corning. We're looking at 58 degrees in Chico, temperatures in the 40s. Even some 50s for some of the higher elevations, and looks like temperatures in the low 50s for the coast with partly cloudy skies. Mainly sunny skies up to the north out towards Del Norte County. There's your 7-day outlook for the valley. It's dry, it's mild, it's in the 60s pretty much through the end of next week. But, as I mentioned, by the end of next week, into a week from this upcoming weekend, we might be talking about a better potential for some of that wet weather moving on in. How about the coast, inland, and Trinity County? Well, of course, you're dry too for the next 7 days. Not going to see much change in that overall pattern with those temperatures. If you have the 3-day weekend with Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday, well, you're in pretty good shape. Now, we will see probably a dip in those temperatures for some of the mountains as we do go into Monday. Temperatures mid-40s for Mount Shasta on Monday, low 40s for El Turris and Susanville, but then we see temperatures actually increase again. Yeah, we're going to see those temperatures increase back up to the upper 40s to low 50s for the mountains for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Let's take a look at, I've been meaning to take that out of the overall rundown here. Let's take a look at some of those cameras. You can see the Lake Oroville, and just another beautiful sunrise shot there. Here's a look at North Forebay. We're still, of course, seeing the sunny skies. We're also seeing those calm winds, so we're not seeing any ripples in the water there. Here's a look at Main Street Chico on Highway 32. Oh, looks like they've got, well, I thought that was a fire truck, but just because some kind of utility truck. But yeah, things are flowing smoothly there. Not a lot of traffic this morning. Highway 99 at Neal Road. Yeah, just your typical traffic flowing along. Not seeing any backup in the traffic there. We're going to take a look at Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive in Redding. Of course, we don't have this camera in motion, but you get the idea. Traffic looks to be flowing smoothly there as well. Today is Friday. I had an opportunity to meet this week's Pet of the Week, and we are going to take a look at Oh my goodness. What was the dog's name again? Well, we're going to find out right now in this week's Pet of the Week. Hello everyone, Mike Krueger, Weather NorCal. You are watching Pet of the Week, and of course we're at Haven Humane Society. I've got Katrina from Haven Humane over here, and we have got Corbin, who is looking the other way. We're looking at his behind. Oh, there we go. Now we can see him. So we're thinking of a pit mix.
Yeah, we think he's a pit mix. Definitely got something else in there.
Yeah.
He's about a year old, so I don't think he's going to get any bigger than this. He's just about 50 pounds. But he is such a sweetie. We do know some things about Corbin because he actually was in a foster home very briefly. He didn't live with any other animals, but he was with a really nice lady, and she said that he was very attentive to her. He's housebroken. Huge. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
He really loves playing with toys, and he's very good at occupying himself with toys, which is nice if you're, if you're busy doing something and you can't, play fetch or whatever. But he's a super sweet guy, and he has done good with other dogs when we've introduced him out here at the shelter.
Okay, so you're saying with the foster home, there were no other animals around.
No.
But in your experience, he's actually done quite well.
Yeah, he's been really playful when he's met other dogs.
Good, good.
So I think he would do just fine.
All right, so what are the fees if someone wanted to go ahead and adopt?
So Corbin's adoption fee is $75.
Okay. Standard.
Yeah.
Looks good. So if you are interested in Corbin or any other pets they have here at Haven Humane Society, be sure to give the number on your screen right here at the bottom here a call, and they'll take care of you and get you taken care of here. With Corbin, Corbin would love to go home with you. He's already shown good sign. Oh, what's that? Curiosity, right? That's good. So that's going to do it for Pet of the Week, and we'll see you next week. Well, I apologize for the audio there. So I've got this great microphone system. You plug it into your phone, and you got the microphones working. Every once in a while, though, when I plug it in, it shows that it's working, but it's not. So unfortunately, the microphone that is on your person, we have two separate microphones, that doesn't work. However, the microphone on the phone is still working. So it was picking up our audio from the phone, but it was a little far away, so the audio wasn't that great. But you still kind of got the gist of it. Corbin, a great dog, had a foster home. The foster home noticed it was a very attentive dog and a good dog, and it's also a housebroken dog, so you don't have to worry about potty training the dog. So otherwise, Corbin just is an amazing dog, and it was very true. We let Corbin go off, play by himself, playing with that ball by himself. He's able to keep himself busy with his own toys, had a good time. I was able to kind of get him riled up a little bit, and we had a little fun as well. So if you're interested in Corbin or any other animal they have at Haven Humane Society, be sure to give that number a call at Haven Humane, and they'll be, of course, more than happy to take care of you. We got some of our regulars checking in this morning. We got Ruth Sanchez saying good morning, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic day. Mark Olson saying good morning. How are the lake levels? We're going to get into those lake levels here in just a bit, Mark, here in our deeper dive forecast. They're looking good, but just kind of wrap it up with that. It's looking pretty good. Curtis Brown saying good morning, Mike and everyone. We are due for some rain now. We've been watering plants outside already. Isn't that crazy? Here we are in the winter in January, and you've got to water your plants? No, it should be natural water coming in from the sky, but that is also showing signs of change as well. So let's go and take a look at, of course, our sponsor. Sponsor of Coffee with Krueger is Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of promotions, specials and promotions, that is, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Once again, I want to thank Wind River for their support of Weather NorCal and Coffee with Krueger. All right, let's take a look at those temperatures out there right now. We're looking at about 33 degrees for Redding. It is cold, folks. Be prepared for those cold temperatures anywhere you go. Valley, mountains, even the coast. Although not as cold for the coast, you're looking at low 40s there. Frost, maybe not as much frost here for the coast when we're looking at temperatures in the low 40s, but it is still cold any way you look at it. Now, let's take a look at the weather headlines. Cool mornings, mild afternoons. Rinse and repeat. That's what I've been saying all week long. That's what we're going to be saying here for the weekend, and really probably even into early next week especially. The gusty winds may return sometime around early next week I don't expect them this weekend. They may pick up a little bit here tonight, tomorrow for parts of the valley, which we'll get into here in a second. And the rain, it's looking more promising near the end of next week. And it's looking better because if you've noticed over the last 3-4 days, I've been talking about the potential for some wet weather moving in, long-range forecast model showing it. And one of the things that we look for is consistency. If we see consistently, and when we're looking out 10, 14 days, we typically don't have a lot of confidence in that forecast. But if 10, 14 days, it's still showing that consistency, that rain moving in, then yeah, you start getting more confidence in that. And we're starting to see that. So as we go into the weekend, as we go into next week, as we look at the 7-day forecast, we maybe start introducing rain in those forecasts, starting as early as tomorrow, and of course going into early next week as well. All right, let's go and take a look at the fire tracker, and you can see the Hearst fire 100% contained, Eaton fire now at 55% containment, and the Palisades fire at 31%. We're not seeing any recent activity coming in from the fires, and quite honestly, today is probably the last day I'll be kind of really reporting on the fires unless something major outbreaks there, but we are seeing much better conditions for our neighbors down in Southern California. Now, you look at this, you go, wow, look at those winds, they're fairly strong. That's a concern, obviously. There are no red flag warnings though. There are no wind advisories. However, one of the things you'll take note, we talk about the Santa Ana winds. Santa Ana winds are winds that blow from northeast to the south and west, basically blowing in this direction down into the ocean. When they come down the mountains like that, that air compresses, it heats up. You see the air warm up. You see it dry things out as well, and especially when they're gusty winds too. So you have all of the elements, temperature warming up, the humidity levels dropping, and the winds being very strong, you have that high fire danger. And that's what we saw when the fires started. They spread rapidly because of the gusty winds, because of the dry conditions. What we're starting to see happen though, even though the winds are fairly strong, the one good thing we can take out of it, look where the winds are coming from. They're coming from the ocean. So, not as warm, and a bit more humidity associated with those winds coming off the ocean as well. That's the key. Now, look at Saturday. Yeah, over some of those mountain ridge tops, you're seeing some gusty winds, nothing major though, but we're still seeing that onshore flow for your Saturday. And it looks like that'll be the case on Sunday. In fact, the wind's much calmer for Sunday, but still a bit of that onshore flow. And even in the mountain ridge tops, it's not very strong at all. So again, this is great to see. And as I mentioned, this will probably be the last day unless something major happens early next week. I probably won't be covering the fires as extensively as I have been this week. There's a look at what we've got going on here for Northern California here, back closer to home. The wind gusts right now, well, there really aren't any. It's calm winds, which is the reason why we're seeing those cold temperatures. Now, we go into noon tomorrow, still, wind's not that bad, right? Look what happens as we go into Saturday, though. As you can see here, the winds are actually picking up a little bit here. So as the winds pick up a little bit tonight and tomorrow morning, we may not see as much frost for some of us tomorrow morning, but wind-sheltered areas will see that frost still even tomorrow morning in the valley. But I mean, look at the mountains. I mean, you're still mainly below 10 miles per hour. And then Sunday, we don't really see much of that elevating either. It's not until, say, Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday and Tuesday, we may start to see those winds pick up a little bit here. But we don't really have this defining signature showing where the ridge of high pressure is. That is, we don't have that nice arc in the clouds that we typically see, but the ridge of high pressure is there. One of the signs, couple of the signs, is the fact that we don't have any clouds, right, over the western United States or the eastern Pacific. We do have, kind of, if you look at the flow, you can see the flow kind of moving up and over that ridge of high pressure. Kind of flattens out right here. We've got a disturbance right here that's kind of moving down to the south and east, so we don't have that prominent ridge. But another thing I'm going to kind of want to point out here is this. If you look closely, see a little bit of a counterclockwise spin. There's actually an area of low pressure undercutting that ridge a little bit. That's going to kind of just wobble and sit here off to our west throughout the weekend, and then it will eventually push eastward. That may have a slight impact on our winds. All right, so let's take a look at Futurecast. Potential for rain, still looking not very promising, at least through the weekend into early next week. But let's take a look at that, of course, the fact that it's going to be dry, but also what the winds may be doing. So we go into Sunday, and you see the tightly packed isobar. This is what I've been talking about the last few days too. The winds are going to be fairly strong to the north, northeast, but not over Northern California, right? We don't have the tightly packed isobars, so the winds won't be as strong there. Now we're going to get our fringes of that, so it may kind of spill over a little bit here, but shouldn't be that bad. We go into Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and what we're seeing happen now is this area of low pressure right here. Actually, that's not low pressure, that's high pressure. But we do have that low pressure kind of dying out, moving off to the east. Again, the winds may pick up a little bit here. And the reason being, you see this right here as we go into Tuesday, you've got this trough right here digging to the south. It's what we call an inside slider. It tends to move to the south and east, but it's a little bit more to the northeast than it typically inside slider for us is. So the winds, yes, they may pick up a little bit here, but no major wind events. And that's really the bottom line. Yes, the winds may pick up a little bit on Monday, Tuesday, but it's not going to be anything major, nothing to be concerned about. Then we go into Wednesday, Thursday. Ridge of high pressure starts to build back in again. It's a fairly strong ridge right here. You see that? That's the ridge of high pressure. You've got this rain off to the west. Now, if we were to extend this into Friday, this would push off to the east and bring some rain for parts of Northern California by next Friday into that next weekend. Now, is that guaranteed? No. As I mentioned, there are chances for rain near the end of next week. Nothing guaranteed at this point. Timing, the overall amount of rainfall and snow in the mountains, that has yet to be determined. But there is that light at the end of the tunnel for those of you that are looking for some rain. We could certainly use it, right? But we're still in that drier than normal category here as we do look at that long range. Now, someone was asking, how are the lake levels looking? They're looking pretty good. Really, the main number we want to look at here is this, the historical average. If we can keep that above 100%, we're doing fine. And that's essentially where we are. We have been slowly watching these percentages drop a little bit over the last few days. So again, even though we're doing okay, if we continue on the path we are now with the dry conditions, these numbers will continue to drop. The above normal rainfall that we have will continue to get closer to being closer to normal and then eventually maybe below normal. The snowpack that we have, that's going to start to melt. We won't see as much snowpack either. So we've got to get more rain and snow in there to keep these lake levels up, to keep our averages up, and to keep that snowpack up as well. And looks like that could happen as we get towards the end of this month. Now the ski report, this has been about 59% this week. We're seeing it drop. We're starting to see a little bit of that snow melt, but they are certainly making snow out of the Mount Shasta Ski Park, and that park is 100% open. Let's take a look at those wave heights, as you can see here through 5 o'clock today. Let's take you into Saturday. You see how it's not changing much. So we're not going to really see any small craft advisories or any changes to that marine forecast over the next couple of days, with those winds from the north at about 5 to 10 knots. As I mentioned, no small craft advisories. All right, let's take a look at our forecast here for today. We start with Trinity County. Temperatures mainly in the mid-50s, give or take. You can see about 50 degrees for Trinity Center, Burnt Ranch about 55, and 52 degrees in Weaverville. Down to the south, about 51 degrees for Wildwood, 55 degrees in Ruth, Forest Glen, about 52 degrees. Here's your North Coast neighborhood forecast looking at southern Humboldt County. Temperatures in the mid-50s there. Up north out towards Ferndale, about 52, 51 in Rio Dell, 52 for Hydesville, and 52 degrees in Fortuna. And we take you a little bit more to the north with 54 degrees in Trinidad, that is. 58 degrees for Willow Creek in Arcata, about 53. And we take you to Del Norte County, Smith River, about 56. 51 for Gas Key, and there's Orleans with a high of about 56 degrees. All right, let's take you out to Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, where we've got those temperatures in the low 50s for the Highway 96 corridor, but along I-5, temperatures mainly in the upper 40s for today. Upper 40s also for Scott Valley, with about 48 for Fort Jones, 48 in Callahan, and 47 degrees in Greenview. Central, eastern Siskiyou County, you can see about 43 in McDowell, 44 degrees in Weed. Mount Shasta City, about 47 degrees. And your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, 45 degrees in Alturas, 43 degrees in Newell, 41 in Fort Bidwell, and 41 degrees in Cedarville. Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, again, 7-day forecast is still dry through at least Thursday of next week. 48 degrees in Bernie, 51 degrees in Shingletown, and 54 degrees in Paynes Creek. Lake Almanor, Laston Park, again, to get out of the way there, you can see Chester's 7-day forecast there. It's dry. Temperatures dropping down to the low 40s by Monday, back in the 50s by next Wednesday and Thursday. Let's take you to the south. Paradise, you'll see a high of about 55 degrees today, 48 degrees in Greenville, 50 in Doyle, and 48 degrees in Mineral. How about that Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by Walgamith Painting? Well, temperatures in the upper 50s for Corning southward. All right, so you'll notice as we start heading north of that, around Red Bluff northward, low 60s, especially for Reading, Anderson, Cottonwood, although a little bit cooler out towards Whiskey Town with about 57, and that's also the case in Lakehead. Let's take a look at that 7-day outlook for Reading. Temperatures in the low 60s. That's what we've got here for your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, still in the low 60s. Tuesday, all right, maybe a slight drop at 59. Back up in the low to mid 60s. I mean, again, we're talking about maybe that potential for some rain near the end of next week, but it's not going to be until maybe that Friday or a week from this upcoming weekend. That's essentially what we're looking at here. So it's still dry, folks. We've still got this dry weather to contend with. But we are beginning to see more signs, better signs of some wet weather returning and making its way back in the picture near the end of next week. As I mentioned, timing, the amount of rainfall and snow we can expect out of it, we can't do that for you right now. But if you have outdoor plans, not this weekend, of course, you're going to be fine this weekend, but that next weekend, if you have outdoor plans, you may want to keep a close eye on the forecast because we maybe start introducing that chance for rain in the forecast over the next couple of days. So we're going to start seeing, most likely, some rain in the 7-day forecast, maybe as early as tomorrow as we go into the weekend, or towards the end of the weekend and into early next week. We'll be seeing that towards the end of the 7-day forecast. So that chance is looking much more promising for that wet weather. So it's looking pretty good. Catherine's saying, always want to adopt them, feel sorry for them. Of course, Catherine, of course, talking about our pet of the week. So yes, it's hard. I go out there. I meet these animals every week for the most part, and it's sad, and they're beautiful animals. But they usually keep me updated with whether or not these animals end up getting adopted. Sometimes they say, hey, so-and-so was adopted, and that's always such good news to hear. So I want to do everything I can in my part to help with Pet of the Week. So there you go. All right, this is my lemon water with a little bit of honey. I love it. This is kind of one of my new favorite drinks in the morning now. I still have my morning cup of coffee, but then I also like this lemon and honey. It's really good. Very, very good. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this week. It's been well, not very interesting week, really, weather-wise. It's been the same thing every day, right? This is when my job, for the most part, is pretty boring. I don't have a whole lot to talk about because it's all the same stuff. But hopefully things start to change here. As we start going into next week, I'll have more to talk about. We'll have more to dive into when we look at that potential for rain and snow, because it is going to be a welcomed sight, I think, without a doubt, for many people. So what do you say we start wrapping things up, getting ready to wrap up the show here? We're going to take a look at Lake Oroville, see how things are looking at in Lake Oroville. That's what it looks like right there. Another beautiful sunrise shot. Ooh, that's even better. Kind of looking more off in the distance there. Let's see what it looks like at North Fore Bay. Probably not quite as picturesque, but still looks pretty nice nonetheless. The winds are calm out there this morning. So that's going to do it for us on this Friday. Of course, your Friday edition of Coffee with Krueger. I'll be back again on Monday. In the meantime, you can check my latest forecast at noon and also again at 6 o'clock this evening. And meteorologist Chase Wilson will be in over the weekend to keep you updated with the weather. And of course, those chances for rain near the end of next week as well. And I will be back right here on Weather NorCal on Coffee with Krueger at 7 a.m. on Monday. And of course, with all your latest forecasts as well. Until then, have a great day. Have a great weekend.